The countdown clocks are ticking for NASA's historic return to the moon. This morning, the Artemis II mission is close to liftoff. You'll be able to watch it as soon as tomorrow evening on CBS News. The crew of 4 has been training for nearly 3 years for this 9-day flight, and our Mark Strassmann has been covering launches for over 3 decades. So, Mark, what are the chances that this blasts off on schedule, and how excited are you?
Well, good morning, Matt. NASA says 80%, and they sure sound optimistic. 80% chance that we're going to lift off on tomorrow. So fingers crossed those conditions don't change. Exciting, of course. It's exciting as a symbol. That is, this is the dawn of a new era. And it's also exciting because this is the most powerful rocket NASA has ever flown. So just as a spectacle, it's going to be something to watch. But remember, this is a test flight for a larger mission. NASA expects something will go wrong. And when it reacts with a fix, it has to remember that the stakes could be as high as it gets.
Once Artemis II's off the pad, in orbit, on its way to the moon, Jeff Radigan will troubleshoot any in-flight issues from Mission Control in Houston.
Yeah, if we want them to definitely call now.
Radigan is Artemis II's lead flight director.
Spaceflight comes with risk.
His daunting responsibility: guide 4 lives through the hostile environment of space and return them home safely to their families.
How does putting people aboard just change the dynamic of everything?
We cannot take the same level of risk, although in some cases we have to. It's more risky to go to the moon than it is to go to low Earth orbit. There's not much I can do to change that.
Does it weigh on you?
It does. I think about it every night. And it's my job to ensure that when they choose to risk their lives, that we do it in the smartest way possible to minimize that risk.
It's no hypothetical. Over the decades, NASA has lost 17 astronauts in the risky business of space travel.
Artemis II will be the first time any crew has used this rocket or this capsule. And if something goes wrong, they could be days from Earth.
It's a significant risk to go fly around the moon, like tremendous risk to do that.
Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen is the only non-American crew member. He told us he expects to return safely to his family.
I mean, what kind of risk are you accepting by going on this mission?
It feels like we have the risk managed. There could be things you don't know. That's the one that I talk to my families about. But I want everyone to understand that you can lose a crew. And if we do, that shouldn't shock us. And the most important thing we do next is we stack the next rocket and we let the next 4 volunteers get on top of it and go.
A million things have to go right with every mission, and that in part is why astronauts often tour factories that make these rockets and the capsules. They want to thank the workers for what they do, but put a face on why those workers have to bring their A game every day. Matt?
And Mark, thank you for putting that into context for us.
He got me with that last comment, though, that we could lose a crew. He's really putting it in perspective. It's one of those jobs where they have no room for error. Mm-hmm.
Significant risk, tremendous risk on the most powerful rocket that NASA has ever built.
I mean, you look at Columbia, Challenger, right? These things happen. I love, by the way, that it was the Canadian guy that was a little bit pessimistic there at the end.
Okay, so if all goes as planned for NASA, CBS News will have a special report from the Kennedy Space Center tomorrow, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we want all to go as planned.
Yep.
Yes, I believe.